Here we go. Welcome back to another Den Talks bite-sized session. And today the hot topic is training. I'm going to give you some information about myself, how I started training, the methods I found worked for a bit and then stopped, the things I done wrong, methods I used in the past, and what I try to do now to keep that training ongoing. Because it's not easy, as you could tell. So how I started was in Germany, and I had a good friend. You might have heard this from Den Talks, the first episode of the podcast. I had a good friend who was a PTI. He got me into training quite a lot. He used to take me to the gym and just absolutely thrash me. We had some good sessions together. Never really was into it that much. I just used to go for the fun of it. You go and you train, but then you think that when you train you can balance it out by eating. So where our camp was in Germany, there was a strip that had KFC, McDonald's, Burger King, just loads of fast food restaurants. And KFC over there does like these spicy wings. So my thing was I'd go and train, I'd get a bucket of these spicy wings. And these things was absolutely heaven. So I had a habit of sometimes eating these wings, leaving some, because you get like 30 wings for €2 or €3 or something, and there'd be some left back, and we were like in these 4-man rooms, and if I was hungry in the middle of the night, I'd get up and I'd eat chicken wings. So I was going to the gym, but the habits and nutrition, everything, that side was quite wrong. I didn't get to that bit till later on. I didn't really dial that in till later on. It was just a case of eat shit, train for fun, and it's a laugh. But I just never stopped. It's just one of them things that I just kept going with it. And in the army, we have a saying, like in the infantry, eat when you can eat because you don't know when your next meal is going to be. And that's how I used to kind of train. Like if I go on exercise, if we go on tour and things are limited and we can't train, then I used to do my head in. So I would try and train as much as I can. So if I do miss a day, a week, a month, God forbid, out, then at least I know I've done something to try and compensate for that. So it was just, I always try and train, not so much as I can now because I got a bit more wise to it, but I always try and train so that if I can't, then at least I've done something or I've done what I can. And when I say train, back then it was your regular bro split. So for those who don't know what bro split is your shittest type of training ever. So Monday, International Chest Day, you'd go and you'd find any bit of equipment that works your chest and you'll just do chest. On a Tuesday, you do back. Wednesday, you do shoulders. Thursday, you do something else. Friday, you do something else, usually arms. And the weekend, you just get pissed. So that's your bro split. And it did nothing for you. I didn't know that, so I just kept doing it. It's one of them things. But being a beginner in the fitness environment, you grow because it's something that your body is not used to. So that stimulus just makes your muscle grow anyway. Done that for years. Got to a certain size, a certain level of fitness, but then obviously it stopped because you plateau, because your body gets used to things. That's what happened. When that started happening, I then thought, well, I need to look into this a little bit more. Met up with some more people in the training environment, and they brought me onto some other splits, so like body parts. So then I start changing things up where I would work my chest and my triceps together. I'd probably work my back and my biceps and split things up that way. So I'd work agonist and antagonist, so muscles that work together. So your primary muscle, for instance, if I do a bench press, would be my chest, and my secondary muscle would be my triceps. So I'd work them two together. And then I figured something else out, is that if I work opposites together, so I do something like my chest and my biceps, I got a different result. So I started figuring all these different things out after a while. And it's quite interesting to see how you change when your training changes, when you get clued up to something else. So that's my body parts that I started splitting up and doing different things. And obviously because my body parts were getting hit a bit more frequently, started to grow a bit more. So that's another thing. And then bang, hit a ceiling again, plateaued on that. So I had to go and figure something else out that would make me grow, get a bit fitter. Getting older don't help, but you still got to try and do something. You got to try and improvise, adapt and overcome. So then I got wise to like your push pulls and push pull lower methods of training. If I were to train 3 days a week, then I would try and hit my full body 3 days a week, train every single body part. If I were to do 4 days a week, then I would alternate that. So I'd probably do an upper and a lower and an upper and a lower. Depends on what days I can train. And usually it wouldn't be like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday thing, and then the rest of the days just get pissed. It'll be, I can split it. So I can have day 1, day 2, rest, day 4, day 5, and so on and so forth. And I can switch that up how I want to, just have these single days. So my 4-day routine would look something like upper, lower, or push, pull. If I were to go to 5, then I'll do a push, pull, legs, and then an upper and a lower. If I were to do 6, could do push, pull, legs, and if if you could do 7, then you'd implement something else on the 7th day. So I used to be that madman that would train twice a day, maybe 3 times a day. But again, after a while, I noticed that it was kind of counterproductive, because I would be hammering myself every single session in the gym, and I'd be tired, I'd be whingy, my body would be aching, I wouldn't recover as well as I want to recover. So it had the reverse effect. So instead of me growing and instead of me actually getting the gains I wanted to get and get fitter, it just had a massive reverse effect. So I started going well after the bro split and implementing those days. And then after I figured out, right, I'm going to train, go hard or go home, beast mode and all that sort of stuff. It just had the opposite effect. It was frustrating as fuck. I'm not going to lie to you. I spent about 6 months to a year trying to figure out what the hell is going on with me. It's like, you're training, but it's just nothing's working for you. It's absolutely shit. So try not to get down that rabbit hole. Don't overtrain yourself. But I figured that out, and I changed it up again. And that's when I started implementing other things, because you got 1,000,001 different methods of training and different types of equipment as well. You don't have to just stick to your barbells, your dumbbells, and your resistance machines. You've got your body. To me, personally, I think, this is the will according to Dwayne, I don't think that you should be able to lift a load of weight if you can't lift your own body weight. It doesn't make much sense to me. You're not robust enough. So I think you still need to have that element of being able to lift your own body weight. I used to train with this guy years ago. The reason why I got so good at pull-ups is that this guy used to make me do 21 pull-ups before every single session. I don't know why, I don't know where the number 21 came from, but every single session, no matter what we were training, we used to do 21 pull-ups. It used to absolutely annihilate me. You take it into bits first until you can just do 21 pull-ups straight off. So he sort of got me used to that. But I implemented a lot of different things in kettlebells, bodyweight training, time under tension, pyramid sets, tri-sets, supersets, and implemented all that different type of modalities just to try and get something else, and it worked. And I realized that you don't always have to stick to the same things while training. You can do something else, and then it'll change. It'll change the way your body responds to things. Your body's a smart thing, and it'll get used to whatever you're trying to do. That's why people train in blocks. So people have 3-4 week blocks, and it'll keep changing. It goes strength, hypertrophy, endurance, and go back to it. Just because your body adapts to different things, and it helps you by changing. So when you go to your PTs and you have instructors telling you you can't just get ripped in 2 weeks, or I can't just give you a 2-week program, understand that it isn't that simple to get what you want in that time, unless you do some mental magic and go on some stupid diet and whatever. But it's highly impossible. So listen to your PTs and stuff when they're telling you the truth. So after all that, I sort of realized, you know, when people say that it takes you a while to get gains and it takes time, it does. I had that long-term training there, and I didn't even know, because now I'm at a stage where I actually like what I look like. But it's that long-term training that I didn't even figure out until later on, after implementing all these different things. And I'm a big believer in circumstances made me who I am, because potentially I could have found all of this out in the early and be at a different stage, but then I may not I might have been at a different level. I might have been a different person. I don't know. So that growth process for me is who made me who I am now. I'm quite happy. I'm quite proud of that, and that's where I keep trying to go. And it's the same as if I'm gonna do a long journey. Like coming back to the point that I brought up earlier with I train whenever I can train. If I were to do a long journey, London to Scotland or something, and I have 5-6 stops, it'll take me longer to get there. Whereas if I just go, then I'll get to that destination quicker. It's the same, especially for now where the pandemic's hit. If I just stop because the world's effectively stopped, then when everything starts again, it's going to take me longer to get to that destination. Now that's not saying that wherever your destination is has to remain the same during this time, because of your stress, you work, you got the kids at home, life gets in the way, you may be eating a bit more, diet's going out of the way, you can't go to the gym, you can't train as much as you want to train, or you can't train with what you want to train with. Doesn't mean that goal has to stay the same. It could change, make something different, think up of something different. But you should still have something in the back of your head that will keep you going, that will challenge yourself. I challenge myself to do things that will put me out of my comfort zone to make sure I do it. Otherwise, I'd probably be sat on my ass not doing anything. So I have to challenge myself to get up and move. Challenges are good, but it can put you in a state of mind that if I'm just doing a challenge for a marathon, for instance, I'm going to get to that marathon, I'm going to do it, and then I've achieved my goal, then I've achieved that, so I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to sit on my ass because I've done a marathon, They're good, but try and they should be ever growing, so you should be ever looking for something else, the next challenge or next goal, however you want to put it, to get you back into it and keep you moving. So where we are in this pandemic now, if you do stop, what happens after that? You're going to sort of reverse and get back to a weird stage, and then the lockdown finishes, and then you're sort of starting from scratch again. So my advice would be to not stop. Try and at least do something. I know it's hard. It is fucking nails. The other day, the reason I put that post up earlier, dragged all the kit out of the garage, set it all up, and I really had it in my head that I was going to do a really good workout. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And I got the kit out and I done a few sets, and I just fucking wasn't feeling it. My mental state I was in shit state. I just couldn't do it. It was so embarrassing. I felt embarrassed for myself, if that's the thing. It was absolutely shit, and I just felt like I let myself down. It was fucking horrible. But my mental state just would not allow me to break through that barrier and train. So I just left it. I just fucking left it. I took all the kit, put it back in the garage. And as I was going back in the garage, I see George. You might know George. See George. And we ended up chatting for a bit. And we ended up chatting about the same thing, about trying to train and not being in a way to train. And he says, well, you got to figure out who you're doing it for, what you're doing it for, and just do it, So George gives me some good advice. I mean, that day I didn't finish training because I just could not be freaking bothered with it. So I went and found a bottle of booze and got absolutely minging, which was my alternative. And if I could sort my head out a little bit, and when I got back into it on the Saturday, I was fine. Went out running with the doggies, and I just got back into it. It was absolutely fine after that. But you'll never ever always have that mental state to get kit out, especially if you don't have any kit. You can only do so much squats and burpees. It's gonna friggin' frustrate you. But like I said, you gotta challenge yourself, and you can't let that get into your head. If you just got nothing but your body, and the only thing you're seeing on Instagram is people doing a bunch of fucking burpees and a bunch of squats, then challenge yourself to go and look for something else, or look for someone who knows about other stuff and do something else. There's other things you can do apart from that, and then you won't, the risk of injury or the risk of you burning yourself out is quite limited then, because you're not doing as much plyometric movements and you're not injuring yourself. You can take your time with your movements. But that mental state is absolutely nails to get with this pandemic. If you're sat at home, like I said, you got the kids, to deal with your homeschooling the kids. You may have stresses with work. You may have other stresses with your partner. Try and get some time to yourself and think about some me time and go out for a walk and clear your head a little bit. Do some meditation. Do some yoga. I started doing yoga and it's an absolute laughable thing. I was going to film it, but I don't think I'm ready for that level of people laughing at me yet. I'm alright with people laughing at me, but I don't think you want to see a Breeze Block trying to do a warrior pose. It's not a nice scene. But I started doing yoga and I tried meditation, like I said in the past. But try and get in some kind of mental state so that you can do something. Please do not let this defeat you. Don't let the pandemic take you out your training mode. I spoke to so much people that are religious gym goers and now they're like, man, I'm training like 3 weeks. I'm like, what are you actually doing? Get something. Get a kettlebell, fill a bag up with some books and do some squats. Do some overhead presses, you know? It's obviously easier said than done, but try it. Just, I don't know, let something trigger in your head and just try to get up and try and do something, because sitting on your ass and doing you no good. I'm telling you that now. I've done it for a bit and it don't happen. It sends you down a worse fucking rabbit hole and it gets you depressed. And everybody gets in that state. Don't look at your favourite influencer, your favourite Instagram star, wherever it is, and think they're not fucking depressed. Because this is a depressing time and it gets to everyone. It gets to friggin' everyone. Like I said, that day I trained, I was just in a dark hole. It was absolutely horrendous. And if I didn't have people, like I spoke to George, and if I didn't have people around to pull me out, then I probably would have still been in that hole now. And if I didn't have the mental capacity to pull myself out, I probably still would have been there now. I get some people don't have that, so I hope you've got friends, family around you. And they should be supporting you, you know? If you want to go out for a walk, they should be going, right, come on, let's go for a walk. You know? Drag the full family out with you and do something. It could be fun. If the weather's crap, then try and do something around the house. There's so much different things you can do. You can download different apps that will help you to keep active as well. I've got a good one with a spinner. You just make things up, spin the wheel, and it tells you what to do. So challenge yourself is my point. And that's the end of it. That's basically my training set in a nutshell. That's how I started, and that's how I keep going. I always try and train whenever I can train because I don't know when I'm going to get it in again. And the pandemic's proven that. So the people that stopped just before may be booting themselves in the head now because they've stopped before. The people who had summer body goals and are thinking, well, I'm not going to have a summer, so I'm not going to bother. But then when summer's finished or when the pandemic's over, you're just going to be starting either from square one or you're going to be backpedaling for a few months to try and get rid of what you put on over the lockdown. So you've got to keep some sort of movement going. Yeah, so I hope that helps. My little waffle, well, I say little waffle is going on to about 18 minutes now, 19 minutes. But if you have any questions or anything I can help you with, then give me a shout. I'm always happy to help people. I'm always happy to chat and waffle crap for a bit, take the piss out of things and take the piss out of myself. But yeah, and I hope everyone's doing fine. That's what I should have started off with, to be fair. I hope everyone is doing as best as they can. And that's not just going to the gym or doing you can't go to the gym, but that's not doing fitness and movement and all that sort of stuff. I just hope that you're genuinely doing all right in your head with your family and everything around you. And if you want to talk to someone, we're always here. I'm all ears. If you're having trouble with stuff and you're struggling with things, then just the most I can do is chat, and the most I can do is listen. All right. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed the little chat. Let me know what you think, as usual. But I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.